Coffee. Hey, coffee. Dude, keep doing this coffee. Yeah, but it's time to record.
Welcome back to the Late Podcast. I don't know what episode we're on.
21.
It doesn't matter anymore. We're back again with myself, Jared, Hunter, Jordan. No guest. Hunter couldn't pull it out.
Neither could Jared.
I didn't even try.
It's a group effort type of thing.
You know, I didn't even look. I didn't even try. You know, to be honest with you.
I stuck it on Hunter, so.
I don't have that many friends on Snapchat anyways.
Yeah, I even texted him like, hey, know anyone who could come on? And he's like, no. It's like, oh.
I think I'm just going to start posting on my Snapchat story. Who wants to come on a podcast tonight?
There you go. Oh, like, who wants to come on for this night? Who wants to come on for that night? Frank said, he was like, is it okay if I, like, share some of your stuff? I was like, yeah, please do.
What do you mean, share some more stuff?
Like, share our podcast and whatnot to
yeah.
people. I was like, yeah, please do. He's like, yeah, a couple guys at work listen to podcasts, so I'm sure they'd like yours. And I was like, yeah, send it their way. And I told him how people only make it halfway through, which if you're watching this right now, get through halfway through. We'd greatly appreciate that. Halfway pointers.
Yeah.
So eventually we will have my friend named Frank, who I worked at Plato's Closet with. Great guy.
Bro, you've been talking about him since, like, episode 1. I think these people are starting to think he's fake.
Nah, he's very real. You met him.
A long time ago.
Yeah, once.
Your imaginary friend.
Yeah.
Guys, he's right there. What are you talking about?
I don't know what you're pointing at. So, how's everybody's day? I don't want to hear you yawn.
I can't help it.
Bro, I've been trying to tell him let's do it earlier. He got off at 4. I was like, let's do it earlier.
I was waiting on you to get here. I was expecting him to like roll in at like 6:30 and be like, all right, so we starting? 6:30 rolls around. I fall asleep on the couch as I'm trying to clean cast iron skillet on the stove.
Did you check that?
I already cleaned it.
Alright.
So I was boiling water in it to help clean it and then wipe it off and oil it up. Completely forgot I had it going, passed out on the couch, and then I see him pull in and I'm like, oh. And I'm like, what's that smell? Walk over, all the seasoning that was in the cast iron skillet, like bubbling in it. I was like, oh, I better take care of that.
Well, I was waiting for him to finally get a guest, and he never got back to me on it. So.
Yeah, I texted so many people and they're like, oh, sorry, I can't. I have to go shopping. Oh, sorry, I can't. I got this going on.
Excuses.
We're trying to find a female guest to come on, so it's not just us all the time and guys. We're trying to open it up to everybody.
Be more diverse.
Sure.
Easier way to say it.
2 genders. Not the other 79, just a female.
Yes.
I identify as
Attack helicopter.
I identify as my truck.
I identify as chicken nuggy.
I identify as a stormtrooper. Lars the stormtrooper.
Identify as Daniel Craig Stormtrooper then.
Bro, you know who I forgot about in the comedy scene, but he's one of the best comics ever. Dan Cook.
I think I only watched a little bit of his stuff.
So I've never watched some of his stand up,
Mm-hmm.
but I've always heard how he changed the whole. It's changed comedy for a whole decade and everything. He was one of the first comics to use MySpace. So then it got out to it, so it made him be able to connect more with his fans and stuff.
Uh-huh.
And all these comics were always why would I do that?
Right.
So then they finally came out after he did it, after his decade was over. They were Yeah, honestly, we just didn't want to follow in his footsteps because we didn't want to look like followers. Like, damn. So you guys just shot yourself in the foot
Right.
for a decade and let him run that shit. But like, I never like watched any of his like stand up or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I just listened to Bird's podcast today that came out last week with him and Dan Cook, and I was like, oh yeah, he was an employee of the month. I was like, I haven't seen that movie in forever.
That was a good movie.
It was a good movie, but he was the head star, and I completely forgot about it. It's like Dan Cook.
Hell, a comedian I
I've
wish
heard that name before.
was still around was John Panette. You guys
Yeah.
remember John Panette? Oh, he was hilarious. Especially, I think he was in an episode of Seinfeld once. It was like a small scene, and the guy Newman, he was in it with him. Completely forgot how it went, but I remember seeing John Panette in there. I was like, this guy's pretty funny. So I watched a lot of his stuff. Turns out my dad knows John Panette. So I was like, I gotta watch his stuff. Hilarious. My favorite is him in Disney World, and he's like, it was like 112 degrees, and we go into the buffet, and either Chip or Dale gave me the finger, and I ordered an omelet, and my family's ready to leave, and Mickey comes up to me, and he's like, get out of here, you fat bastard. He's like, are they allowed to say that? I don't think that's in the Disney handbook.
It's in Goofies.
Yeah, right.
Murder.
Guilty. Or Ralphie May.
Oh yeah, didn't he like? He died of like a heart attack or something, right?
Yeah, John Panette kind of went the same way. They were both very big men.
Speaking of dead people, did you hear Mike Triviato died?
Mike Triviato.
Who?
Oh, never mind.
No.
He's kind of like on like the AM radio.
Are you talking Mike?
Oh, Mike
Trevisano?
Trevisano?
Yeah,
Yeah. He was on 1100. Yeah, I got to see him a long time ago. Like at Quaker Steak, he did a live show there, and like I met Josh Gordon and who's the other one? Hayden.
Oh, Trevisano. Mike Trevisano.
Trevisano, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. He didn't look so good then. That was a long time ago.
He was a slob.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just when I just looked him up, there was a lot of
Great,
pictures.
Very recognizable voice though.
Oh yeah.
So
And you know, to be honest with you, I didn't like listen to him. He made me mad every time I listened to him.
yeah, you had to be like, you had to agree with him on a lot of things to be able to listen to him.
Yeah.
I feel that same way about Rover.
Yeah.
I was
Like
listening
he's
to him
a
today.
very notable voice that you would know it, but he's built something and it's great what he does, and a lot of people like him. I'm just not one like I can't get along with all of his things that he.
Yeah, because
Right.
he's one way. He's not like open to things.
No.
Hell, Charlie from Rover's Morning Glory came to Bloodview with a few other people, and
Yeah.
they got into makeup and everything. It was pretty cool. I didn't even know it was him at first. Like, I scared him, and he was like, oh, that was pretty cool. And then next thing you know, I, like, take my break, go upstairs to fix my makeup, and he's in the makeup chair, and I was like, who's this guy? So then afterwards, they were like, yeah, so if you guys didn't recognize him, Charlie from Rover's Morning Glory was up here in makeup, and I was like, what?
So I thought Rover's Morning Glory was like only an Ohio thing,
It's all over the place.
and
Yeah.
I didn't realize when I was like because Travis listens to him all the time, and when I'd be sitting there, I was like, he got a call from Florida.
Yeah, that was that was today. I was listening because the guy at work listens to it. It was like
It was this morning. It was
so and so from Florida. I was like,
What?
okay.
And the other day was, he got one from PA. I was like, I was like, how? So I didn't know he
iHeartRadio.
was. I didn't know he was all over like that.
Hell, I'll never forget. My dad's taking me to school one morning. We're listening to them, and you know it was a long time ago when I said my dad's taking me to school.
Wow,
So-
like 5 years ago.
Yeah, a long time ago. So it was a bit about how they just got off the phone with someone. And they were like talking about how they went camping and how they had drugs with them and how the cops came and busted them and everything. And he's like, could you imagine getting like that phone call that the cops are there? Yeah, so we got word that you're smoking the wacky tobacco and you need to leave. The wacky tobacco. What? It was a great bit.
I remember when my stepmom used to take me to school. Okay, no, that's 4 years ago because I'm 19.
Right.
So when she used to take me to school, there was, I don't remember what station would play it, but they would always do like at like 8 o'clock. Oh, before 8 o'clock, they would always do the prank call
Yeah.
where they would call someone
yeah.
and like say, "This is Cox Cable calling about."
Phone tap. Or,
Yeah. And like their significant other would be on the line or something, trying to like bust them on something.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they don't do that no more.
No, they don't do it.
Because I
anymore.
miss listening to that.
It was
My
so
mom
funny.
dropped me off, I'm like, no, I want to listen.
Right.
5 more minutes.
Oh, the bell's gonna ring.
You try
Because
to, you try to look it
sometimes
up
you would
later,
get the
can't
whole
find
thing,
it.
and sometimes you wouldn't.
Yeah.
Because it depended on when they started.
Uh-huh.
So
Try to look it up later, can't find it anywhere.
I never looked it up.
I always try to.
Well, I would forget by the end of the day.
Right.
So
Or, who else was a good one?
Who did the phone tap?
I thought it was 99.5. It could have been.
I forget the name of the guy.
It was
at
either
the
104.
station.
104. No, whoever just like a couple of years ago when Waz and Carletto took over, it used to be that station. And
Yeah.
because then Waz and Carletto took over and it was they never that's 99.5.
Yeah.
They don't do it anymore. But Waz, my dad knows him. He grew up with him and stuff. They used to hang out all the time with the Miz also. And when he moved to, I want to say LA because he got a radio offer there. And then he got an offer back here because he wanted to come back home.
Mm-hmm.
And he got an offer for 99.5. And then he took it over and stuff. And I think they don't do it anymore.
I know on 98.5 or 100.7 used to do something like that too.
It was, like, it could have been 99.5 just because I'm thinking, like, oh, they got new
Yeah.
people, so they might not do that bit anymore. But it could have been 98.5 or 104.1 because I know that's what Ruder would listen to usually.
Elvis Duran.
Yeah.
Elvis Duran in the morning show? He still does that.
What?
But I think he switched his time
Station?
slot.
5 weekday mornings, 5 a.m. to 10 a.m.
104.9.
Oh, so he switched stations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, because he used to be on one of those stations.
Yeah.
One of those three stations of 99.5, 98.5, or 104.1. I don't know which one it was.
I remember their
He
intro.
switched. Yeah.
It'd always be like,
The Elvis
"What?"
Duran morning show.
Yeah, the name was on my tongue. I was like, what was it? I had to look it up.
Yeah, that was a good bit though.
Mhm.
That was always funny.
My teacher for radio and TV almost had an offer to do something like that, but he chose teaching. And in a way, it's like, why didn't you go do that? But at the same time, it's like, I'm glad he took teaching so he could teach me what I know now, and I have him as a connection.
Like Mr.
Yeah.
Conley.
Yeah.
No.
What? Who was it that came in? Like, it was my recruiter that came in and said, well, "You guys got to be grateful of your teacher that he isn't taking the skills that he's teaching you guys to make money, and he's making a teacher."
I know. I laughed when he said that. I'm like,
I know, because I was like, oh yeah, okay.
should have been a recruiter after that. No.
Because I would ask him like, how do I fix this? He's like, you do that. I'm like, I did that. It's not doing anything different.
Yeah, me and Jared.
I was trying to teach
Mark-
myself how to weld.
Me and Jared, Mark, and pretty much did everything ourselves, or like we had to fix machines and stuff.
Yeah, oh, Mr.
All,
Conley
every
would, like,
day.
he just then he'd like walk away and we would fix it, and then he'd come back and he goes, "Oh, you guys fix it?" Yeah.
you didn't show us.
Yeah,
It's
you-
like
you
changing
didn't
out the
teach-
wire. He didn't show us how to change out the wire, so we had to figure that out ourselves.
And then we were like, well, we don't know what aluminum. He goes, well, the machine's in the back. You just can move it and like hook it up. I'm like, all right. And he didn't teach us how to do aluminum welding or anything, or like how to
You never
hook
picked
up the
a
machine
gun
or
or
anything.
nothing.
But we had a like it was a different gun that like we've never used before, so we've
School
never
gun,
messed with.
yeah.
And like we had a it was so much dumb shit that we would do that he would just not care. What was it, the cutter, the
CNC.
plasma cutter. He taught me one time and then like never taught the whole class, and then I had to teach everyone how to use the machine that wanted to use it.
Yeah, you remember like it was like the first day.
It was our first year, and like
Yeah, then like he was showing us the CNC and stuff. He was like trying to like walk through it and stuff. He did a poor walk through. Like, what? Oh, you gotta weld it. I'm like, what?
yeah. In my head, I'm like, I already did this, and like, there's so much quicker and easier of a way to do it.
Then you gotta download the file on the flash drive. Like, okay, you just skipped a lot of steps.
Right. We're using computers now? What?
Then,
No,
like,
but like we would like start class, and then like it would be either be like, all right, guys, you're gonna go up in the back, or he would just turn the lights off randomly and then just start doing something and not like say anything because he'd be like, why aren't you guys paying attention? We did what?
You're checking emails. What do you mean pay attention?
what was the other?
He would just start doing random presentations. All right, or put a video on. All right.
And the robot welder. Had to teach ourselves how to do that too.
Robot welder? What's that?
It's a giant like. You know what they have in car factories with the welders and they move
Oh,
around?
I remember that. Yeah. He didn't know how to use it.
He didn't know how to use. How much was that machine?
He used like $1 million machine.
Pretty much, and like, we had to like tap every button to figure out what it did because
The problem was though, you had to program the welder to make the weld in the proper spot and all this stuff. And if one thing was moved wrong, then it fucked everything up. And then like you're like,
Yeah.
fuck, and then you have to go through all that shit again. But then he would never like we couldn't find a shortcut to it really. So like there was one set of kids that were on it for like 3 months. they were kids I didn't like anyways, but there was like 3 kids on it like for a whole month, and like Jordan, Mark, and I were just doing random like made a chair, made a table, all this shit, and they're just doing this shit and like.
I can see it now. You guys are in the back. All right. You try this code. I try that code. You try that code. Whoever comes out on top will use that code. Okay.
Well, what was supposed to happen was we all were supposed to get in groups of 3, and we were supposed to rotate into it. Every week we were supposed to do something different, but they took like 3 months on it. So we did like the other 2 steps that we were supposed to do because it was only supposed to be like a 1 month thing that we all rotated, and then he was gonna give us another project for like another month. We got through all the other shit and like they were still working on it. So then we just started making random shit or like sitting in the booth playing. So dumb.
we didn't really get big on playing on our phones till senior year.
No, but like it wasn't until like after the first semester. Because like I remember like our senior year like we made those chairs, those tables and stuff, and then we had to fucking make the tabletops ourselves. But the year prior, like they were able to make stuff in the woods class for us. But then we had to go for like a week into the wood shop and make all these tables and shit. And he's trying I think he was a woods teacher first and then a welding teacher. And he was trying to like he like was like really slowing us down in the woods class, like going step by step with all this shit. All of us have probably already been through wood shop and we're like, oh, this is easy.
Yeah.
What was it?
I took woodshop back in
I took it
8th
in
or
8th
9th.
grade.
Yeah, I took it in 8th or 9th. And I had Mr. Victor.
So did I.
It was
Matt
like,
had Mr. C. What was his name?
was it like Con something?
Not Conley. That's our welding teacher. He was the 8th grade football coach or 7th grade football coach.
Casanova.
Yeah, Mr. Casanova.
Remember, like, first, like, 2-3 months we sat in the other classroom trying to do blueprints.
Oh, yeah.
And we just didn't learn nothing. Yeah, we definitely didn't learn nothing because I'm struggling now.
Well, like, I understood it, but it was very, they were
Poorly.
very, like, minimum step into blueprinting. They were, like,
Let me just tell you, if you think you understand that, if you go to my work and try to read the blueprint, good luck.
right, I mean, like, and then he, like, when we would do projects our senior year, he would tell us, like, make a blueprint and shit. Or, like, draw it out on a piece of paper with it.
Yeah, we just draw like what we wanted.
Cool.
and-
So we would just draw the fucking shape and then put this length, that length, and this length. Never put like 90-degree angle, 45-degree angle, any of that shit because it didn't matter to us. We were just like, we need to cut these pieces out, put it at that angle. Like it all went in our heads.
Right.
Like we understood it in our heads, but putting it on a paper, we were like, don't know. I don't know where to go.
Do I look like an engineer?
Right. Like SpongeBob. Duh. Break time.
Yeah. I don't
I was
know.
like, that's not my job. Like, we're the ones that are supposed to be able to read the blueprint, to see the blueprint, read it, then put it together in our head to then do the project. We weren't the ones, like, a welder isn't the one that's supposed to draw the
I
blueprint.
never
Right.
seen a welder make a blueprint.
Right,
It's
you're
always
not
an engineer.
supposed to be the one drawing the blueprint. So he was trying to tell us, like, to draw it out. And just, why?
The only like welders I see that make blueprint are the welding engineers.
When I made my flag, he didn't say anything to me. I just cut things out on the machine and then I put them together. Like I knew all the numbers in my head and I just did it that way. I never put anything on paper. And this was like junior year, and I probably should have waited till senior year because my welds were shitty junior year, and like I kept burning through because I didn't understand the how the machining worked of how much heat you're actually putting onto the metal and what level of voltage you're supposed to use and stuff.
I remember that flag.
It's still hanging
You
in
were
my
complaining.
garage.
You were complaining. Got all these stars to spot weld. It took you about like how long before all the stars get cut out?
It took fucking ages.
Yeah, it was like because you got they keep
I keep
Yeah,
fishing them out.
yeah, had to keep fishing them out and changing the plate.
I had to rotate the plate, fucking fish them out, reset the computer.
Yeah, Mr. Conley's like, oh, when you're using the CNC, you want to put the plate close. I mean, it cuts all the way back there. I mean, I get it's closer to us, but I can't just keep rotating the plate. This son of a bitch is heavy.
Right. It take two people to fucking pick those plates up and move it
Jesus.
and rotate it. And then, like, you didn't have that much room to rotate it because there were so many other fucking machines. And, like,
But
it was, what was it, 12 gauge metal that we were cutting them? Fucking, and that shit was not light. And then, like, you weren't wearing a glove, you fucking cut your hand open, and you're like, fuck it. And then you just continue going on. Like, it'll be fine.
let's not talk about it.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
You remember when we would get the metal orders, and then you'd be like, "All right, everyone go out back," and then we have to pick up all these sheets of metal and shit, move it in one piece at a time, basically.
Yeah, we never wore gloves either.
I'll never forget.
Remember when it snows? We would fucking
Bust our
weld a
ass.
piece and then
Yeah.
throw it outside.
Oh yeah, we get like we have like a quench tank that like me and two other people made. That's how
Well,
I-
yeah, you gotta make a
Come
new
on,
one because it was starting to leak.
yeah. Then so we had a quench tank to cool our metal down. So we used to get blizzards at school. We used to throw the plate outside. So, like a hole like this big of the snow would be gone.
And then you can kick it and it roll around in the snow and go. It's so funny.
Oh, I'll never forget Mr. Victor in woodshop. He was like, "This is a planer. make sure you don't put your hand in there or else. And then he like picks up a very janky looking piece of wood and he's like, this will be your hand, I guarantee it. So then, I think I had Avery Childers in my class.
I feel like we probably said that about the vending machine, didn't we?
Yeah, you guys.
Huh?
So it was either Avery or like another
Probably Avery.
or like
Let's
some
be
other
honest,
guy.
it was probably Avery.
Yeah. They like do it, and then all of a sudden I just hear, ah! I turn around. He's like, Mr. Victor, someone go get the nurse. We have a dumbass in the class. And I was like, oh damn, okay.
Dumbass in the class. College Jordan, don't we? I remember you did that, and then like a week later I did it. Like a different machine, but like still, you fucked up his thumb, and then like a week later I fucked up my thumb.
Or we had to use this one cutter, and it was like a computer programmed one. And he's like, so make sure when you're in the computer room, you write down the right code because we're not coming back. And I think I had, what's that one guy's name? Not Isaiah. He's in that friend group with like Michael. Not Elijah. Elias. I think he was in there. And he like messed up so bad. He was trying to cut out like a football logo. It didn't come out like no football logo. And Mr. Victor's like, does anyone listen in here? And I'm over there with like my Joker thing, and I was like, I listen. And he's like, yeah, yours is alright. We got a good one over here that turned out to be shit. And I was like, alright, I'll go over here now. Or we did those little cars, little race cars.
Derby cars?
Yes, derby cars. They made
I
out of a
remember
block
doing
of wood.
You gotta use quarters as the weight.
Mm-hmm. And I like messed up my painting, and he's like, well, I'm no mathematician, but I don't care about the color. I think it'll run fine, but if you think all that color is gonna slow you down, Sanders in the back, take all that crap off and redo it. I was like, no, I think it'll be fine.
Hello, Mr. Victor.
When he subbed for me later on in high school, he was like the coolest guy. When I first met him, I was like, I hate this guy.
No,
Later
when I
on-
first met him, I loved him.
Later on, he would be like a sub, and he's like, I don't care what you do, just don't be loud. I'm gonna try to read over here. And I was like, okay. So then, in radio and TV, we'd all go in the back. We'd like watch Step Brothers on the TV, or not the TV, on the computer monitor, or we'd all like make music or just go on our phone.
Did you ever have like a substitute like Mr. Hartel or something?
I think I didn't pay attention to the substitutes.
Substitute, and he also had a brother that teached at Valley Forge.
I loved when
I think.
He was a cool guy.
when Mr. Victor would sub for Conley for like a period, or then when we got that fucking music teacher that would sub, it was Mr. Conley. I gotta leave.
Oh, we used to mess with him.
And then we got
every
this
day.
fucking music teacher that comes in.
Yeah, can I go to the bathroom? Then like, it was like
Yeah.
you, me, Brandon, and Mark. We all just leave,
Yeah.
and Nick.
Yeah. Can I go to the bathroom? Yeah. But you gotta come back. Alright.
Never came back.
What we would do, we figured it out. We'd just leave our book bag in the trucks, and then you don't forget anything, and you just walk out like you're going to the bathroom, and you leave. Well, because there was
Didn't take our welding hoods in or nothing.
no. Well, there was a fucking bathroom right down the hall, and if you just didn't go to the bathroom on the right, the door outside was right there, and you're like, all right, you just walk out the door.
I don't know how Normandy was about like watching doors and stuff, but
Oh, they were crazy.
Well, they would have monitors at every door, like the table would be in front of the door.
so like
Palmer was not
like Valley Forge, because you remember going in Forge, right? For-
yeah.
They had like monitors everywhere. So
Parma was not like that at all.
Parma,
You could walk down the hallway and not see a soul.
you could walk out the front door.
Yeah. If you really wanted to, You can go walk right past the office and walk out the door that was like right there.
What was great about the radio and TV room, we had a garage door because that used to be an automotive area.
Oh, so did we at welding.
So whenever we'd have a sub, like a couple of us would be like, "Hey, can you open the door for us and close it?" Yeah. Walk out. Sub would walk back. What's all that racket? Oh, we're just moving a couple cameras around. They're a little heavy. Or I'll never forget. We were playing Uno in the green screen room one day. Someone snitched on us. The guy comes in. You remember Roman Kanaskin?
Yeah.
Sub walks in and he's like, "What's going on in here?" Roman turns around, biggest smile on his face, and he's like, "Just playing Uno. You want to join?" And the sub's like, "Aren't you guys supposed to be doing work?" Derek's the cool. "Oh, we already got it done, so we're playing Uno now." And I'm kind of just sitting there holding back, like, every nerve to laugh. And Roman's like, "Yeah, come on, dude. You're gonna lose hard." Just Roman, just being Roman.
When we would have a sub for like either the whole day or like that one period, he would, not for the one period he wouldn't give us an assignment, but like if he was gone for the whole day, he'd be like, "All right, you guys gonna get this done for tomorrow?" He'd be like, "All right," and he goes, "You can watch the video on YouTube, and these are the questions for the video." No one would do it except the people that actually cared, and everyone else would sit around and play Uno, and then some of us around beginning of ninth period just get up and walk away.
How many pages did you get done in that workbook?
Only when he gave us time is when I worked on it, and then like if I did work on it, I was sleeping.
I only had 1 page.
Okay, I had more than that, but it was definitely only a quarter to half of it done.
I only did the safety page.
I was sitting right in front of him, so I couldn't just put my head down and fall asleep.
He woke me up multiple times. I laid my head down when he walked back. I'm like,
Yeah.
Oh, we had to watch these videos of this guy named Jason Levine going through, showing us how to use like Adobe Audition, Adobe Premiere. Well, that was fine until we all started falling asleep. Then he started adding questions every 5 minutes in the video, so you gotta pay attention. We'd have one person do it, and then we'd all gang up on them and be like, "Give us fucking answers, or else we're gonna like rat you out for this." "Well, I didn't do that." "I know, I did it, but I'm gonna pin it on you."
speaking of videos, remember the video that we had to watch each quarter? The safety video?
Yeah, the safety video that like we watched.
We watched it 8 times.
It was about the same thing with. What was it?
First,
the fucking guy
the first
getting out of
year,
his
second
Bronco
year, yeah.
with a fucking Letterman on and like going to his woods class, not wearing
burn
safety
his
glasses.
hand on the soldering gun.
Yeah. Yeah. Or the fucking the kid that
Ripped a hole in his seat.
No, the girl that didn't tie her hair up when she was next to like a fucking machine that was on, she was reaching up
Oh,
or something.
yeah.
Or the guy that didn't have his shirt tucked in. And
Picking up chemicals out of the cabin.
Yeah.
It was so stupid.
it was dumb. I was like, alright, well, I don't do any of that stuff, so it doesn't matter.
I weld. I don't do any of the other
Right,
stuff.
and then I was like, half the time when I weld, I don't wear my gloves. So the gloves were restricting.
Oh, when I worked
Or I
there.
don't wear my hood. Majority of the time, I never wore my hood because it was like when you
Yeah,
we
look
didn't
at
have
my
the we didn't
face.
have the we didn't have the hoods that would transition. So it's like you're looking at black, just nothing, just black. So it's like, all right, you've either got to learn how to keep your hands still, put the hood down, and then start in the same position, or you just start the weld and then and put your hood down. You just. Or if you're tack welding, I never wore a hood.
Yeah, I don't wear a hood. Look at my face. Got the outline for my safety glasses.
And then he would, Mr. Collins, you guys should really be wearing your hood. Alright, cool. And, or he'd be like, you guys really need to turn on the ventilation system. Alright. He just kept welding.
Oh, when I worked at Meyer.
I don't know if he hated our class or liked our class.
You said we were one of his favorite classes.
Yeah, I got that all the time.
Oh, I'm gonna be honest. I kind of believe it because I heard a lot of dumb shit. Clearly, we would come back our senior year and see all the shit that the juniors did, and it pissed me off. But then, apparently they were a horrible class, and then the year after that, which would be the senior year this year, apparently they were a horrible class too. So if he hasn't retired by now or quit that job by now, I don't know.
I'll become a welding teacher.
Was he? Did you guys actually go that Friday?
The school was closed. They had the day off. I want to go one day though.
I don't work tomorrow.
I work tomorrow too.
I said I don't work tomorrow.
I only work till 1:30 though.
I mean, we can go for the senior class.
Oh, I'll never forget the safety videos for a forklift at Meyer. They showed us this video from like '85.
That's our safety videos with
Yeah,
cranes
yeah,
and
yeah.
forklifts.
You could tell from like the glasses, the mustache. The one was like, "Oh, don't put your hand on the wall when somebody's backing up with the forklift," and it showed like this fake hand getting crushed. And the guy, "Oh!" It's like, well, that's a no-brainer. Or, don't sit on like the
The fork?
the forks while someone's driving it.
No shit.
And the whole time I'm like, why not? That'd be pretty cool.
Well,
You don't know how like when I'm operating the crane at work, I just want to jump on the crane and just ride across the shop.
you don't know how many times I see someone like I was never had to take a safety course for the or get certified for a forklift, but when I was 14 and at my dad's old shop, I drove the forklift all the time. You don't know how bad I wanted to just jump on the forks and raise it as high as I could. Just be like, ah.
Oh, I'll never forget. Before like the store opened and everything was clear, in the safety video it was like, "Oh, don't push the pedal down full throttle and go down, and then turn fast." Me, hold my beer. That kind of energy. So it was completely clear in the back room. There's no one back there. I'm like, all right, well, let's gun it. Phew. I go to turn. My boss is coming right around the corner as I'm about to whip it. So I was like,
So you know what mass is?
yeah.
Like the forklift what raises and
Mhm.
goes up and down. Yes, the ones that we have at work will go like 2.5 stories high.
Damn.
Goddamn.
Mine only went like
The one I didn't have did that.
mine only went like a story high.
The trucks I'm working on now, we're building 9 of them. They have to be done before the end of the year.
A truck?
Yeah, we call them lift trucks.
Oh.
Forklifts. So, they're getting a 4-cylinder Cummins motor in them.
Dang
When I heard
Cummins,
that,
huh?
I'm like, I'm about to put that in my truck. I was like, order an extra one.
Well, we got one missing over here. Let's order another one.
Don't look in the white truck. I thought you had a gasser. No, it's diesel. Wah, wah, wah. Then we do electric and propane.
Yeah, mine were electric, and they were fun. It was fun until I got yelled at one day. I'm trying to like bring a big ass pallet down from the top rack, and I was like barely grazing the side of the thing to where you wouldn't notice unless you were really like fully focusing on it. My one boss, who like no matter what you were on his shit list, he was like, "No, you're done. Get off." He goes to do it. All you hear, ding, ripped the whole beam down, and he was like, "I was just worried you were gonna do that." And I was like, "Well, I wasn't gonna do that. You were gonna do that." I was like, "I took the course most recently. You've had like a couple years under your belt, and you do that? Come on."
So forklifts have counterweights in the back, so the thing don't tip over.
Mhm.
Made out of lead, and the ones that we're working on, about 8,000 pounds a piece. And yeah, then we use like a magnet to move it around. It's sketchy when it's on the magnet. Let me just tell you. And,
That bitch gotta be heavy even though it's on a magnet.
well, yeah, we gotta like keep the crane low. Where we're going, good thing to drop.
Yeah.
And still strip the concrete when it's like this much off.
Do you remember the Thor hammer?
Yeah, yeah. If we said if you could pick it up, you could take it home, and other kids could pick it up with one hand.
Yeah, no one. Well, it was if you can pick it up with one hand and put it above your head. Because you can pick it up with one hand and like get up to here,
Yeah.
but like you can like get it up to like about here, but then trying to like get it all the way up and lifting it like this, that's impossible. Unless you were like constantly in the gym practicing that movement.
Even the big kids couldn't even do it.
Dang.
Or
Well, because it was so like oddly weighted that like if you moved
It-
around and you
it
just
wasn't
couldn't-
hollow. It was a solid piece of.
It was a
metal.
solid block of metal that someone just put another piece on, welded it, put another piece on, welded it, put another piece on, welded it, and then like grind off the welds and like kept
beveled
going.
it.
Yeah.
And we had another. It was like a log. It had like 1,000 welds on it, pretty much, and it had an axe sticking out. They're like, if you can break the axe off, you can have whatever you want on the showcase.
Yeah.
No one could do it. They couldn't even bend it.
No, like we'd get like 3 people fucking standing on the log and then another person like pulling the axe. Like, I think I got it. I think... No. Yeah. It was funny.
It
Oh.
definitely would have been cool, like career day, if we had like a screen and we had people weld.
Yeah, we were talking about that, and then we also were like, we should take like the what was it, the thing that we practiced welding with. We're like, we should take that, and like he was like, no.
Yeah. What were you gonna steal it?
Right, but even like when it was at Parma, he wouldn't let that. Oh my
All you had to do, it was on wheels. All you had to do
god! Right,
was
all you had to do was roll it down.
Oh, one thing I didn't like about career day for my program, since we had the microphones and everything, all the
All the
let's say community do-gooders would come up and be like, "Oh, I'm gonna start my rap career right here," and I was like, "No, you're not." And then we'd turn the mic off and they'd start going. They're like, "Hey, why isn't it picking up?" And I was like, "Technical problems, I guess." Somebody else would hop on me, click it right back on. Then, "Oh, I'm gonna come back in a few minutes." Me, yeah, you do that. Or we had the green screen. It was like Bikini Bottom, and everyone was like, "Oh, I'm gonna be a model." I was like, "My ass." Turn it off. Them. What happened to the green screen? Technical problems, I guess.
I don't know.
Well, when it comes to the community do-gooders, it's like they're just there to fuck around. It's career day. You're supposed to learn. Even though I'd fuck around too.
Yeah,
I don't know. That
we
was-
didn't teach a thing about welding. I'm pretty sure. I mean, maybe like if someone was actually interested, we would like tell them like what we do.
Yeah, when I did a career
But like
day at
besides
Hillside-
that, most of the time we just fucked around.
Yeah, when I did a career day over at Hillside, I had a couple kids be like, "So will this program be available when I get over there? Because I'll be there in a couple of years." I'm like, "Yeah, most likely."
Yeah, because I did it at Hillside too.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Forget.
I was not able to do it.
Was
also.
that senior year?
I think it was junior year.
It might. I think it was junior year. It was in the morning.
Yeah,
So junior year. I didn't see you there.
I was like when you walk into the cafeteria, I was like that first wall all the way in the back.
Yeah. Remember we were supposed to get pizza. We never did.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I remember seeing you too. Because I was like, "Oh, who's the guy in cowboy boots?"
Bro,
And
that
Jake,
was the
too,
that was
Jake
the only
Malaki.
career day I didn't get. I got like every career day except that. I got one at an elementary school.
Greenbrier.
Well, that one, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I wanted it.
That was
I
a
wanted
school.
to do. I wanted to do that one because
I got Shiloh. I got Greenbrier. The only one I didn't get was Hillside. I got all of the high schools, and
Shiloh. Oh yeah, you said Shiloh.
I don't. There was
I only
one.
got
There was one
Normandy.
elementary school. I don't remember which one it was, but I got an elementary school.
Pleasant Valley.
I think it was. Yeah.
I only got Normandy and Hillside. I wanted to go to Greenbrier because one, that's a far drive, and you could kill so much time coming back. You're
Oh.
like, "Oh, there's traffic."
Nick and I always drove together because Nick and I always got all of them, and we would kill so much time.
Yeah, because Nick was like the only person that had a truck at the time.
Yeah, and Mr. Conley didn't care.
I know, like I was like, when he was like giving, I was like, Valley Forge, that's my home school. I'm doing that one. And like,
Even if he was like, oh, but we already got people. People would just show up and he wouldn't question it.
What was great?
Then I did Normandy too.
Mr. Droves would be like, "Here, I'll write you a pass so it's good for whenever you come back in." So I'd be like, "Okay." So coming back from Hillside, even though it's like not even a 5-minute drive from Normandy, I'd stop, grab food, sit in the parking lot for like 30 minutes, like an hour left in the day. I'm like, I should probably go back in now. Guess I can. Walk in, them. Where are you coming from? Career day. When did that end? 5 minutes ago.
So they would always be like, they would ask us to like sign a sheet and stuff, and be like, all right, it's okay, like to be like, you can miss the day or whatever.
Right.
So we'd always have to sign the sheet, but we never had a sheet to go back in. We'd just be carrying metal things back into the building, and they're like, oh, were you career day? Yeah.
You ever see those TikToks where they're just carrying a ladder getting into places?
Yeah.
I kind of want to do that. Just like go to like a building downtown, have a ladder, and go in. Oh, I'm here to look at the thing.
So
What thing? Up there.
remember at Valley Forge the one year for career day, me and Mark kept getting yelled at for our hats
Yeah.
by Mr. Taylor. I don't know if you were wearing a hat.
I was wearing a hat. Yeah.
Then we kept putting the hat on and kept coming over, and he told the assistant principal, and the assistant principal was like, "You can wear the hat," because I wore the hat every day at school. I didn't care.
Right.
And when the teacher told me to take it off, I'm like, I took it off and put it back on. And like it got to the point where they're like in the class, they stopped asking to take the hat off. They're like, just do me a favor, when you see like a principal or something, just take it off. I'm like, I could do that. I'm like, I don't want to show my big ass.
Right. People are trying to do work and I get blinded by the sun.
Yeah.
Well, what sucked was like our home schools, like Forge and Normandy, would like be so strict on like the hats and everything,
Remember
like
Mr.
or whatever you
Dickerson?
wear.
Yeah.
Or yeah, he yelled down the hallway multiple times for me wearing.
Hey,
a hat.
young man, take that hat off.
But
Then you go to Parma.
you go to Parma, they don't give a fuck about anything, and you're like,
people.
none of the teachers say anything about you wearing a hat. And I'm
people
like,
show up to school high. They're like, just spray cologne.
Yeah.
I remember Mr. S was like that, but he was a monitor.
Mm-hmm. Well, none of the monitors ever said anything to me. Like, well, there was like one or two, but like majority of the monitors wouldn't say anything to me about my hat or anything like that. But
Even the principal
all the
never said
monitors
anything.
liked me.
Yeah,
Oh,
I was
our
friends
principal,
with all the
our principal.
Yeah.
Well, now I'm talking about Parma. Parma,
Oh.
the principal, they never said nothing.
Bro, I stole a fire extinguisher. and he was like, you're gonna get expelled. But that was the assistant principal, that wasn't the real principal. And I was like, alright, cool. Because you're not my principal, I don't care.
Right.
So what happened? Like, did you like say Brandon took it or?
What compelled you to
I
take
was,
said
well, they
fire-
were like,
fire
alright,
extinguisher?
they were
No, he didn't actually
I didn't take it.
Brandon
Put it in
his
my book bag. And then in the corner of the screen, all you can see is me taking it out of my book bag and doing this. So, and then it's out of the screen at that point.
Oh.
So you never see who I handed it off to. So it's all on me. And they just see a Normandy Letterman, so they automatically are gonna assume it's me.
Right.
And they know the fire extinguisher had a number on it from what classroom it came from. We would have been 100% fine if
Brandon
he took
didn't-
it with him.
Yeah.
He sprayed it and threw it on the ground.
Oh.
But at that point, I already left because I was like, I don't want anything else to do with this, and I left.
Then you got pulled in office and you.
The next day, I get pulled in the office. The week before I'm supposed to go to districts, and they're like, "You're gonna get expelled." It's like, I can't. Like it's like I was like, this can't happen right now, because I just made like my districts my first year, and like I was like, this cannot happen right now.
Try back next week.
And went through like all like I was in the principal's office for the whole day basically, and like went through this whole spiel like of safety of why we need to have the fire extinguishers there, and like why did you do that? And I told him, I was like, this is what I did, because I was like, I'm not getting this blame because they started off with expelling me. I was like, that can't happen. That will not happen. And then the other thing was like, They're like, if you tell us who else was involved, we'll give you a 10-day out of school. And I was like, that can't happen either. I told him, I said, look, I'll tell you who did it, but I need to have a minimum. I said, I need to have either nothing or a minimum, or a maximum of an in-school suspension. And they were like, well, we were going to kick you out of welding class, or we were going to expel you, or we were going to give you 10 days out of school. But if you tell us, maybe we can agree with you. So that's what I need, because that's what's going to allow me to go swim this weekend. And it was a big event to me, because like we could have made states and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, I need to do this. And they're like, all right, if you tell us, this is what we'll do. And for me to be able to get that, because that ultimately is more important to me than breaking up a friendship. Because at that point I was like, I don't care who the hell you are. I'm going to tell on you so I can go on with my swimming career. That was more important to me. I was like, this dumb fire extinguisher that was not in my book bag is now coming onto me, that I can lose my whole swimming career like that. I was like, that's not happening. So I was like, alright, this is what happened. I was welding, I was doing my thing, and I come up front, like, at the end of class. Brandon walks up to me and he goes, hey bro, I put a fire extinguisher in your book bag. And I said to him, I was like, bro, why did you put it in my book bag? You could have given it to anyone else. Why did you put it in my book bag? He's like, I don't know. Just, I said, bro, take it out. Like, please take it out. Like, I do not want to have to deal with that. Alright. So, he told me that he took it out. And then I walk outside, and as we're walking, first of all, if you have books and everything in my book bag, I'm not going to tell a difference in the weight.
Right.
It's not a big fire extinguisher. It's one of those little ones that like you can fit in a book bag.
Right.
So I walk outside through the doors, and then he walks up to me after we get outside. He goes, "Well, I never took the fire extinguisher out." I said, "What?" And like we're now almost halfway through the parking lot, and I go, "Bro, I don't want it." He goes, "All right, give it to me." We're at the very corner now of the camera, almost to our vehicles. Put my book bag down on the ground. I open it up. I see the fire extinguisher. I said, I don't want anything to fucking do with this. And I hand it to him. I said, I'm leaving now. You do whatever you want. I don't want anything to do with it. He goes, all right, cool. If we get in trouble, I'll take the blame. All right, cool. Get in my car. It's the quickest I've ever left that school. I leave. I didn't care if I was going to hit someone. And I just left. Come back the next day and I get fucking called down to the office. I was like, God damn it.
Yeah, me and Mark got in the car. We left too. I was like, I don't want nothing to do with it.
Right. So everything would have been fine if he did not, because I saw him spraying it as I was leaving.
I was like, but I didn't know he left it in the parking lot, because a janitor, when they were cutting the grass, found it.
Mm.
They found the fire extinguisher and the number and everything, and tracked it back to our classroom, and they were gonna have Brandon have to pay for it getting refilled and all this shit. And I was like, oh boy, this is not good, because they were telling me I'm gonna have to repay for it to get filled. I'm gonna get kicked out of welding class. I might get expelled depending on what Normandy wants to do, and for sure 10-day out of day school suspension. That would have been the worst. I've never had anything worse than a detention at that point.
Right.
I've never had a Saturday school. I've never had to stay after school. I've never had to stay after school. The only thing I ever had was a lunch detention. At that point, I was like, pretty good. And then I got this 3-day, and then I worked it down, talked with them, and like I can't do that, and worked it down to a 3-day in school. I was like, I've already learned my lesson. I knew that it was not right, and they were like, well, we have to at least give you something, because you never took it out of your bag. And I was like, I told him to, and I believed that he took it out. And I didn't think that I was going to have to go back through and open my bag and see if it was still in there, because I just the bell rang, I picked it up, everything felt normal because I have textbooks in there. What do you expect?
Right.
And then after that, I stopped bringing my book bag. So, yeah, so it wouldn't get suspicious. But then, like, the joke was constant the rest of the year of, hey, bro, and take his fire extinguisher and tuck it in. Because they literally they never filled it. They just took the old one and they put it in one of the filing cabinets in the room, and they never filled it.
Oh.
I was like, I want that. I kind of wanted it because it's like it's a memory right here.
Right. So now your dad walks in your room. What's this fire extinguisher doing here? Put it back in there. It's a memory.
Yeah.
From what?
Alright.
Oh, he knows.
So, let's get off the school subject.
Well, we've been going for an hour,
Yeah.
so it was a really long episode about school.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, here we were going to talk about like restaurants and whatnot. If you haven't heard yet, in downtown Cleveland, a new restaurant called Haunted House opened up.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
If people skipped out, cut off at halfway, they missed my whole story about the fire extinguisher.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make that into a bit one day. I gotta like throw some things in there that spice it up a little bit.
There's a handgun in there too. I looked back and he was pulling the pin of a grenade and threw it.
So-
I floored it and nearly clipped somebody with my mirror.
So it like something so it doesn't bend the truth a lot, but just a little bit.
When I heard he pulled the pin, I thought he was pulling a grenade. My life flashed before my eyes. When I got called into the office the next day, they said, "So you're gonna do something for us so we can forget about all of this." And then the door shut behind
Oh,
me.
they escorted me with a cop and the principal. They came into the classroom with a cop and a principal for me for a fire extinguisher.
Then you're gonna make it up to us, boy.
Well, what do you expect? We
Bro,
were going to Parma. That's the most hood school here.
Right.
I know, but then like I walk in the office and he goes, "You're gonna go with these two cops." And I was like, "What?" And then two cops took me to the camera room and they showed me the footage. Like, "You see this? What did you do with that fire extinguisher?" Because they thought it was just me.
Hand it off to a ghost, can't you tell?
Well, at the corner, you just see. I'm like, all right, cool.
It's like, don't show who else was there. Just
I was
show.
like, I was like,
Go on.
you can't go look at another camera angle. Like,
Right.
they only showed me one camera angle. It's like you couldn't look at another camera angle and know there's more than one camera out there.
Right.
But I thought it was so funny that they showed me that camera angle, but then like we never get called down for skipping class because it was the camera angle that you could just see us walk out of the doors. Like what?
Then, man, that's not as serious.
I know. I remember when he would take us down to like the last garage at Parma, and we would like, this is a log splitter, and we just walk out the door.
Hell, whenever
We're gonna have to wrap this up soon.
yeah, whenever we'd be in the control room of the recording studio
Before my phone died.
back at Normandy, the cops are on the other side of the door, so we're like cracking jokes constantly. One day, like, Roman's like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna pull out this methamphetamine and light up a blunt and spike it a little bit." The cops open the door and they're kind of looking at us like, and Roman's like, "Dude, it was just a joke, I swear to God." And then they were like, one walks in, he's like looking around, moving stuff, and he's like, "Okay, just next time clarify it's a joke. I don't want to have to come back in here." Door closes, all of us, "I don't want to have to come back in here now, Roman." It's not as cool as your guys' stories, but it was pretty funny in the moment.
We got a lot of fucked stories from welding. Alright. I mean, it was a decent episode for not having a guest.
Yeah. Another episode of memory lane kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was all week.
Yeah.
Alright. Well, thanks for listening to us tonight.
Hopefully you made it all the way through.
Hopefully Hunter can get this up in a decent time tonight.
Hopefully Hunter can try.
Like, comment, and share.
Yeah.
Subscribe. See, he's
Our-
catching
Our
on.
host is helping. See you guys later. Peace out.
See ya.
See it.